Happy video day, guys. So we have a few products that I want to talk to you guys about that I kind of did first impressions on already, that I want to give you guys my follow-ups with, things that I've been trying for the past few months, and I have been really trying these things out to let you guys know like what I'm thinking about them. Like I told you guys, I do first impressions, kind of try to come back another day and let you guys know what I'm thinking, because I really think it's important for you guys to see like the whole picture, because sometimes when I do the first impressions, things could work out great and then I can like totally start hating them as I've been using them. You never really know with makeup. It's just so personal and you just really don't know. You need to like really be playing with things constantly to get like a full grasp of what you feel. So I have been using these products for a while now, so I have a good idea of what I think of them. We have some here that are like, honestly, I'm obsessing over. And then there's some here that I'm like, no. If you guys are new here, my name is Christina Brooke and this is the GLAMRANCH. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button before you leave this channel, and let's go ahead and get into it. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and start off this review with an item that I know a lot of you guys have been asking me already, like what do I think of it? Let me know your follow-up. Natasha Denona Mini Lila Palette. So this is the palette right here. If it would focus. This is the Mini Lila palette from Natasha Denona. I did do my first impression with a few other products when I tried this one on. Like I said in my initial video, the colors in here are spectacular. They're absolutely stunning. I love the color combination in this palette. It's so beautiful, so unique, and I really think it's great. Very on trend for fall of 2018. You're gonna see a lot of purples and burgundies, and I think this is very on trend. I love the fact that it's a Natasha Denona Mini. I definitely think that this is still a product that I think that people should want to try. It's inexpensive in Natasha Denona land for $25. I personally think that there is some shades in here that are phenomenal, and then there's some shades that they're good, but I personally just think for Natasha Denona quality, I wanted them to be even better. But it's not that they're bad, they're good. It's just you have to compare it to a brand that is so expensive that you think that every shadow is going to be like, I have never seen anything like this, oh my gosh. And I feel like some of these are oh my gosh, and then I feel like some of them are okay, you know, like it's good, it's just not anything out of this universe. I think this palette is a lot better than the Mini Sunset palette. The Mini Sunset palette also was good, but there was also some shades in there that I was like, This matte brown right here is absolutely stunning. I think it's a great matte brown. I love the way it translates on the eyes. This one here, I feel like is a little bit lackluster for what I wanted. I don't think it's a bad shade. I definitely think it's good. I think it needs to be wet in order for it to work, but it's just, it's okay. This one here is actually a very good shade too. I really enjoy using this shade. It's very good for the crease and it's also good for the outer edge. I do think it blends pretty nicely. This one here is phenomenal. This one here is the best shade in this entire palette. I think if you buy this palette, it's for this shade. This shade is very unique. It's beautiful. It has high pigmentation, wet or dry. I think wet obviously works a lot better. This shade here is a good shade. I think it's for a purple. It blends out pretty decent. I don't think it's the best purple I've used, but I do think it's a decent purple. The thing I love about this palette is the hues. I think that she got the hues right. The hues of this palette work beautifully together. I think that the coloration of the palette works awesome together. Like, I think that some of these shadows are not Natasha Denona like big palette quality, but I do think some of them are. So I think that for the most part, I think it's definitely a very good palette, and I think if you guys want to try Natasha Denona, definitely worth a try. Is it going to make you say, I need to buy the $125 palette? I don't think that this one nor the Mini Sunset palette is going to make you say, I need to buy that expensive palette, because I do feel like some of the formulas in here have to be a little bit different, because the way people talk about the expensive $125, $220 palettes is like you've never seen anything like that in your life. And I feel like maybe the blue, I feel that way, but really some of the other shades, and this matte right here is phenomenal, but some of the other shades, yeah, I like them. Yes, they look beautiful in the eyes, but it's not like the formula is so amazing. So I do think that this is definitely worth a try. I think that you guys will probably enjoy this a lot because it is beautiful. It looks really nice on the eyes. Definitely if you're using an eye primer, you have to make sure that your eye primer is dry. Make sure after you put on your primer, you put on a very good base, something like a powder, something to kind of like get rid of that tackiness, because I feel like these shadows for me worked a lot better with absolutely no primer on my eyes. I felt like they were smoother that way. I felt like when I used primer, I feel like they stuck a little bit more. If you do use a primer, make sure that you use a powder to kind of really set down your eyes, because these shadows, I think it might be because of the purples and the hues that are in this palette. Usually purples and burgundies are harder to blend anyways, and I feel like that tackiness on your primers could sometimes make the blend harder. So definitely either don't use primer, or if you want to use primer, just make sure that you're setting it down with some type of powder and wait for it to dry and then go in with these shadows, and I feel like you'll definitely have a better experience. I do like this palette for sure, and I definitely think it's worth a try. But like I said before, am I gonna say that this is the reason I want to buy the $125 palette? No, I don't think so. I feel like the reason I wanted to try the $125 palette is because there's something special about her big palettes that sometimes are not 100% translated into her minis, and I don't know why that is. I really don't, because I feel like it's a missed opportunity. I feel like you really should use the same formula in the minis. And if it is, I mean, it is, but there has to be something different. I don't know. So now let's jump into another product that I think is pretty decent. I mean, this is the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. I will tell you guys, there's a few complaints that I have about this concealer, and there's a few things that I really like about the concealer. So what I like about the concealer is I really like the coverage. I think the coverage is really good. I like the way that it also leaves this really beautiful hydrated feel to your under eyes. It's really crazy. It looks so like loomy. I love the way when I put this on, my under eyes look so luminous. One thing I don't like about it is it has such a weird formula. It's like really thick and sticky. So it doesn't really crease on me. I have heard people say that this does crease on them. On me, it doesn't really crease. I just feel like it has such a weird formula. It's like strange. When you put it on, you feel like you're putting paste on your face, and I kind of am not a huge fan of that. I like for my concealers to kind of like blend a little bit easier. I feel like I have to blend a little harder with this concealer to really make it like blend. It's not bad. It's definitely good. I feel like this could be a very good concealer, but I think they need to work a little bit more on the formula. I think it needs to be a little bit of a smoother blend, almost like the Laura Mercier Flawless Fusion Concealer that blends out very easily, but you still have a hydrated under eye effect. I feel like this one needs to go a little bit more that route. I know that this one has a little bit better coverage, but I feel like there's something missing with the way that it feels when I'm putting it on, that it feels kind of like a real sticky base. I want this to be easier to put on, but I do think it's a good concealer. I just think that a lot of people will be turned off by that because it's strange. I'm telling you, it's a weird feeling, but I like the way it looks. So what do you say with that? I would say try it, but I'm not sure if you're gonna love it. All right, so let's jump into this one. So this is the Pow Wow powder from Pop Beauty. I was so excited to see this at a Walgreens that's near my house that I had never seen like this Walgreens before. And when I walked in, it was like bum 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 bum. I saw like all these new makeup products like Pure and all this stuff, and I was like, you're at Walgreens? And I was so excited. I picked this product up just because I never had tried anything from Pop Beauty, and I don't think that this was the best first impression of it, because I feel like these powders, I've used it a couple times after, and I feel like these glittery shades, I need to stay away from this one and this one. They have so much glitter in it, but it's not like sheeny glitter. It's like glitter. It's like you're going to a disco and you're gonna be the disco ball. It's like the glittery, glittery, glitteriness. And I am not a huge fan of that. I don't want my face to be glittery. I want it to glisten all over the place so that people are like, wow, she's so glistening, but I don't want people to look at me and say, wow, she's glittery. These other ones are decent, but because the glitters are so loose in these, the other ones get full of glitter. I don't know if you guys can see, but everything has like that glitter on it. So even when I try to use the other ones, I feel like I'm still getting all this glitter on my face. It's really annoying. The pigmentation is good. I feel like it's a bit powdery. I don't really think it's worth it to me. I mean, I know it's not that expensive, but it's not cheap. So I really feel like for this, I would just not buy this one. I would go with Flower Beauty that has amazing blushes, and I would just get an individual size of the one I like, because this one is just, to me, not worth it. So I would definitely say pass this one. Oh gosh, this is so good. This right here is a try. Like, I would say you need this baby in your life. Like, this palette, I am so shocked. I love, love, love this palette. The pigmentation in this palette is probably one of my favorites. I love it so much. Fall is going to have a lot of color. So if you guys are still looking for a colorful palette, I would definitely tell you guys, don't fall back because you think that fall's not going to include color. Fall will definitely be a fall that people are going to be using color still. Definitely go for it. And I think this is the palette you should get. It is not that expensive for all the colors you get. This is a mini and it's the size of my head. I love this palette so much. I think the pigment is phenomenal. I think that the lasting power is phenomenal. It lasted so good on my eyes. I was very impressed with this palette. I think that, you know, when I talk about how ColourPop has a really good formula for being an inexpensive brand, I feel like this is another brand that has one of those type of formulas that you're like, wow, you have such inexpensive products considering other brands that have very expensive products, and your formula is just so good. I feel like all of the foil shimmery shades in here work awesome. You need to wet your brush. I think that the impact happens when you wet your brush. If you leave it dry, you're still gonna get impact, but you should wet it. And when I say wet it, I mean with like some type of setting spray. I use MAC Fix Plus. Any type of face setting spray that you own is what I'm telling you to wet it with. Spray your brush very little and go into any of these shimmers and you will see the difference. It will adhere better to your lid and it's also going to like just do this amazing effect. It's so beautiful. The mattes in here work awesome. The only thing I have to say is I wish that there was a transitional color that was a tad bit lighter than their lightest color, because I feel like this one here is the lightest color and it's the one I always go in for the transition, but I would have liked it one more lighter. But other than that, worth it. So I have two more products here and one of them is the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. I love this foundation. I think they need to expand the shade range just because it's such a good foundation. I have it on today. Ever since I've been wearing this, I think it looks beautiful. I definitely think that this is worth a try. I did read that Beauty Blender is going to be expanding the shade range. If that is true, that is great because I definitely think that this is worth it. I think it's beautiful. It's very lightweight, very full coverage, but not cakey. You could definitely wear it medium coverage and it just looks beautiful on the skin. You can wear this as an everyday foundation and it still can be built up to full coverage, which I think is a phenomenal advantage of this foundation, that you can wear it medium or full. So you can wear this as a daily foundation. You could also wear this as a night out foundation, which is great. Love it. Undertone on me, perfect. I wear 2.30, matches me great. The yellow undertone is not too yellow. It's a perfect yellow undertone for us girls that have a little bit of a yellow undertone. I love the foundation. It is not extremely long wearing. Like I think it wears as long as it should wear. But I think that for long wearingness, I don't think it's like the longest wearing foundation I have, but I definitely think it wears beautifully. Finally, the last product I'm going to tell you guys about is from Dose of Colors, and this is the ILUVSARAII collaboration. I did try this one out for you guys, and it's called Peachy. This color is beautiful. I love this color. I love this formula. I think it looks beautiful on the lips. I'm wearing it right now and I just love it so much. I feel like this color though is one of those colors that you have to be careful with. If you have too little makeup on, you might think it's a little too peach. So you definitely have to play it up or play it down a little bit, but I definitely think it's such a beautiful color. This formula is great. I love this formula a lot. And honestly, Dose of Colors has impressed me with this formula. I didn't know Dose of Colors had such good liquid lips. Peach colors are still going to be in for the fall, so I definitely think it's worth trying out that one too. That is my review, a roundup of all of the products that I was doing first impressions on just recently. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Let me know if it helped you guys any. Leave me your comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.